Hello there. Welcome to another episode of WOK Talk. Um, yeah, the fact about the WOK, which will actually be a fact about the titanium WOK for lost loved ones, WOK WOK, is that because it's titanium, it transmits heat really, really well. That's why it makes such a good cooking wok. And honestly, I may have actually mentioned that in a previous fact. I do sometimes repeat facts about the wok, but I'd like to have a fact about the wok for lost loved ones, either my walking with my feet wok or the wok for lost loved ones, the titanium wok. Alrighty, let's do our shield squats. They are to celebrate a previous stunt where I carried the pallet 50 miles to raise awareness for suicide prevention. Did that in May this year. And we're preparing to do the same thing next year, just with less rest stops, trying to just improve our endurance. So let's do 5 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I want to talk about today is a superhero's greatest enemy that does not often get highlighted, except for every once in a while. Heat. And really the concept of overheating or heat exhaustion, often because you are dressed in too many things. Where to start? That the shield squats that I do are a good measure of being able to exert myself a little bit and see. I test out my outfit every time I do the shield squats. I feel great today because I'm wearing a very light outfit, but when I'm doing this in cold weather, you might notice that I'm a little bit warm by the time I do those just 5. And the thing is, it's not super easy and it's not super hard. It's just enough to exert myself a little bit, and it just gives me a good measure at where I'm at. Not doing so good that I don't feel better. I feel winded enough that I want to use my inhaler, but I could have gone without it. It wasn't like that was an emergency or anything, but I did use my inhaler, so that's a measure of how I wasn't in perfect shape. But yeah, the shield is a good way to measure how my outfit is doing as far as heat goes. Oh my cape is a little disheveled. You can see that it's not evenly distributing the red color. There's more red on my left side, but the camera flips everything around. It's hard to say what is left and what is right. But this is actually my left side, despite what the camera might be showing you, because I never know which cameras are mirroring me, because a lot of cameras give you a reversed image, and it's hard to keep track of that. Yeah, no, I think I'm looking at a mirrored image of myself because this is on my right side, but I'm looking at somebody who had, like, I can see myself and it looks like it's on my left side. Same with my business cards. On my business cards, it's actually the opposite side of where it really is. And so I don't mind having that on my business card because it shows that when I'm on video, I might be reversed or mirrored. And yeah. This big chunky chain, I have mentioned this previously, but it is actually it actually helps me regulate my heat a little bit, because this part of the chain will usually almost always be colder than the part of the chain that's touching my body. And so basically, if I want to lower my temperature, all I do is spin the chain around and make sure it's touching my skin directly. And yeah, that's a way to cool down. And you can repeat the process. By the time this part of the chain heats up, because heat rises, this part will almost always be a little bit colder. Yeah, it works pretty good actually. It does, as impractical as this big chain seems, it's very practical for a couple of reasons. I hope I never need to use it to defend myself. But if somebody had, like, if somebody's coming at me with an axe and I couldn't just get away from the guy, I might pull out my chain and try to use that to stop the axe from getting me. Um, but for the most part, I would only pull out something and use it as a weapon if somebody else was at risk of being hurt. Because if somebody's just coming after me, I can probably run away from the guy. And if he's catching up with me, well, then maybe I might have to pull out the chain and try to wrap it around the handle and whip that thing away. That might be kind of hard to do. Yeah, I gotta think about these things a little bit because it's like, you could catch the chain in the slack, or the catch the axe in the slack and try to pull it away. It's a scary thought. I'm not saying there are axe murderers roaming around Grand Prairie, but I might have to deal with deflecting a pipe or something. That's why, rather than my chain, which is kind of like a last ditch effort, emergency thing, uh, I want to rely on my foam shield for a lot of those instances. That's why I want to have the harder layer of truck bed liner in between the foam, because then if somebody was coming at me with a melee weapon, I would have a much better chance of stopping it. And the foam shield is pretty decent if a person is coming at me. I can use it to, shield myself, at least my upper body. Had pictured the fact that it would be a little awkward defending my lower body, but I can always run away. And I don't think people should be ashamed of running away. You don't have to fight people, but the thing is, some people with limited mobility don't have the option of running away. And so, yeah, I understand if somebody wants to stand their grounds and, swing with a walking stick or something. I say I go back and forth on whether or not it's okay to carry a walking stick for the sake of self defense. I feel like most people will be on your side, but it's a matter of depending. Like if you had just a big stick, I feel like people would be less on your side compared to somebody who had like a curved cane, like just a what is obviously made to be a walking cane. But I don't know. That's why I like shields and I like a piece of jewelry that I'm not swinging around using as a weapon unless somebody absolutely was trying to kill me and I couldn't get away from them. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about heat, and I veered off into another subject entirely. But that happens. I want to fill up time a little bit. I only had one thing to talk about. This cape, as impractical as it seems, is also really good at helping me regulate my body temperature. It shields me from the sun, but also you can soak it down, and then you're really keeping yourself cool once it's soaked down. Um, Also recommend cooling down your head by dunking it in water or pouring water on it, because heat rises and you're just putting the fire out right at the source, because people drink water. You need to be hydrated, but when you're already hydrated and you're trying to cool down by drinking water, it does cool you down internally a bit, but it takes a while for those effects to get to your head. So drink water and also dump water on your head. Yeah, that's why it's not always great to have helmets and stuff like that, because maybe you need to cool off. I will say I was watching Skyline Superhero, and while he was going through his great video, he had to go off camera because he couldn't wear his outfit anymore because it was too hot. And it's like, well, if you can't even do a YouTube video in your gear, how are you supposed to handle like a combat situation or an escaping combat situation? Um, yeah, like call me a pussy for wanting to run away, but I'm thinking about running away and making sure that my outfit doesn't overheat me. And yeah, no, I want to be prepared for all temperature conditions. I don't wear the same outfit every day. I have many, for the most part, my outfit is regular clothes with a cape over top. But I've had more elaborate outfits in the past. Someone was saying on my last episode of Walk Talk. Thank you for commenting. I really appreciate it. Um, they were saying that I looked like a Game of Thrones character, or it looks like I was from should be from Game. I should read the comment, but I look like I belong in Game of Thrones, and it's probably because I have the shield and all my other stuff going on, shield and a cape and everything. But then I said, "Oh yeah, that's nothing. You should have seen me when I had my big chrome shoulder pad." And yeah, I really like my big chrome shoulder pad, but it was all aesthetic. It wasn't practical. It seemed kind of practical because it was a solid object, and people think solid, that must be the real deal. Somebody seen a little dent in it and actually asked if I had been shot at, and I was like, I cleared it up. I was like, no, it just had a dent in it because I made it from a hubcap I found in the ditch. um, but it looked really good. But it's impractical. It's like I want to wave at people, and when you have this big shoulder pad, the shoulder pad's got to go somewhere. Like that's something I realize every time I see shoulder pads in media. And I'm talking about you, Warhammer. Where are those? What's happening with those shoulder pads? Like they're gigantic, beefy, freaking huge shoulder pads, and so when you move your arm past the shoulder point, shit's got to happen. Like when you're down, when your hands are down, where you can't see them right now. When your hands are down, it's no problem. But when your hands are up, and you see the cape it also interacts with your shoulders quite a bit. So you might think you have a good setup for your cape, but you need to be able to move all around. And what I wanted people to pick out that they may have known from my previous videos and live streams where I mentioned this before is, did you notice what I was doing that was very unsafe? And I'm not talking about the big chain that, yes, could be used to choke me. I know that's possible. My cape is wrapped up a little too tight right now. It looks good, doesn't it? I chose aesthetics over safety, but I did that to cheat a little and look good in this video. But I also did it because it's so easy to want to say, "Oh, well, I just wrap it around one more time, and it looks so much better. It looks so much more clean, and it keeps me warmer, and it covers me more when I want to be in shade." But it's like, no, this, as simple as it is too difficult to pull off. Right now, I'm pulling on my cape, and it's not ripping the Velcro. This is bad. But the reason why I did it, why it was aesthetics over safety, was because the way I have the Velcro and the cape now, it's a little bit slack. And so it's safety wise, it's much better because boom, look at that, it just comes right off. But I like seeing the chain underneath, but when I see it like up here, I don't know if I like that. But I don't think it looks totally terrible either because bling is bling. But what I don't like is the collar here. The collar just looks weird, when you're combining it with the cape. But I've learned to accept it because you got to have safety over symbolism sometimes. And I am basically just working on basically going to cinch it up like this and have the Velcro up here so I can have the best of both worlds. So it will cleanly break free and it will look good too, because you might as well have both. And that's also the video quality may not be enough that you notice, but if anybody ever wants to poke fun at the fact that my cape is not always clean, it's fair to poke fun at that. But I also think it shows its experience and it makes it different from the flags that are blowing up in the wind and everything, because it's like I've collected some grunge, but I it's because they stain really bad and it's really hard to get the fucking stains out. I wash them and they just don't completely come clean, so I often just end up replacing them, and that's why you may notice I have a couple flags because they're retired capes a lot of the time. That's a retired cape. This was a retired cape that was hanging up back there before, but I took it out of retirement because I lost my my other cape that I was wearing. But that's just it. Is I don't because I have spares and I get them for free. I don't fret when I lose them. Um, but they are a practical thing, and I do like to have them in all seasons because in all times of the year they shield you. They shield you from snow, wind, and rain. You gotta be mindful about the wind. You know, like it can come up your fucking ass and over your face, and you look stupid. But if you know how to move, it's not that bad. But yeah, I got some stains on here, and it needs to go in the wash. So I apologize for looking a little disheveled here, because this stain actually will come out. I know it will. So it's time to wash this cape. It's been through a lot. Um, I'm Captain Canada, Joseph Arthur Roszell. Excuse me. I normally don't say my middle name, but yes, I'm Joseph Arthur Roszell, aka Captain Canada. I want to thank you for watching. I want to wish you all luck in the world. I love you, and I want you to remember that suicide is never the answer. Peace out for now.